I'm James Swanwick. Welcome to the Alcohol Free Lifestyle Podcast, where you learn to live a life of health, wealth, love, and happiness.
Does this sound like you? Strong in business, silent in life. If so, you're going to want to listen in on today's episode. Hi, everyone. This is Victoria English. I'm the head coach here at Alcohol Free Lifestyle. And today I'm interviewing Kannary, a graduate of Project 90 and Beyond 90. Kannary recently celebrated 1 year alcohol-free and is an incredible member of our community, our program, our message. And she is here today to share with you her experience. Strong in business, silent in life. Kannary is 43. She's out of Boston. She's a mother, a business owner. She is a hypnotherapist for high achievers. She helps them manage stress, anxiety, limiting beliefs, and self-sabotage. Today, she's going to share with you what was going on behind the scenes as she empowered others. She's also going to share with you what changed and what her life is like now. Kannary, thanks so much for being here. Strong in business.
Thank you. Honor.
Strong in business, silent in life. That reminds me of the woman I met just over a year ago when you came to our program. Can you tell us a little about your background, your upbringing, and how you arrived at that point where you were serving others and yet not serving yourself?
Yes. So I am the oldest daughter in my family and have always been hardworking. It came to a point where over, maybe in the last 3 years, minus this past year, where I had taken on so much of my family's responsibilities, taking care of my mom, my elderly mom, and just handling everything without asking for help. And I was serving my clients. I felt very good and empowered, and I felt like I was making an impact on their lives when I was serving them. But I was one person when I was serving them. And then at 5 o'clock, when the lights turned off in the office, I was unhappy because I had taken on too much and I was coping, turning off my mind, turning off the why is this so hard, turning off the why is this my life with drinking. And I started to do that. I did that for a couple of years, and I did not feel like I was in integrity with myself because I was helping my clients, but I was not helping myself mentally. Mm-hmm. I was physically exercising, still doing all of that, eating healthy, but I wasn't nurturing my soul, and I was not asking what I wanted, what would actually make me happy. And I realize now, being alcohol free for a year, my goodness, I thought I was enlightened and I thought I was really positive and I thought I knew it all. And when I first got on with you, I just thought, what am I going to learn that I don't already know? But I learned a lot, and it keeps going deeper. You keep learning more about yourself, and you can't believe the self-love that you gain for yourself. So I was great in business. I kept on going. I kept producing. And I kept saying, I have to do this for my family. I have to keep working, producing. No one else is going to take care of my elderly mother in old age, financially, mentally, physically, all of it. So I just took care of everybody else. And I gave myself a little vacation every night when I drank that wine o'clock, unwind, and I just didn't feel great about it because I didn't feel like I was reaching my full potential, and I felt like I wasn't living in integrity with myself.
Mm-hmm. Integrity comes up a lot in our program, as you know, Kannary. We work with high achievers. When you came into this program, we committed that you would work with like-minded individuals. And feeling out of integrity comes up with just about everyone in our program. When we work with members like yourself, people who are in the business of helping others heal, whether that is through medicine or other types of healthcare or wellness, hypnotherapy, yoga. You know, I was a Pilates instructor, self-medicating with wine. There is an additional layer of shame. And what I'm hearing from you is that that was your experience.
Yes, I was absolutely quieting my mind and thinking, why is this my life? Why is it so hard? Why
is it so hard? Yeah.
Why is this my life? Why is it so hard? Why do I have so much of this burden? I appreciated it because that pushed me to grow tremendously. And as high achievers, we're always looking to grow. So we're fueled by that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I wasn't looking inward and thinking, how's this going to stop? So yeah, and I realized I wanted to not have that wine o'clock. I wanted to feel good every day and not need something to turn my mind off or to relax.
Right. You've shared some things about your background, about your childhood, and I think a lot of our listeners will resonate with parts of your experience. You've heard me say, Kannary, lots of times, and maybe our listeners have, that our experiences are different, but our feelings are the same. And Kannary, I know that it wasn't when you turned 40, you didn't internalize those beliefs and those messages that you had to take care of others, that you had to provide, that you had to do everything for everybody else. From what I know of you, those messages began at a very early age. Can you share a bit about when you can now how you can recognize that messaging in your childhood and how it impacted you as you grew older?
Absolutely. Growing up, I was never allowed to feel. I was never allowed to really be a kid and express myself and have fun. I had to take care of my younger sisters. I had to be, mature and responsible. And I learned you have to be an adult when you're a kid, and you have to, very just high expectations.
I remember when you were in Project 90 and you would make those statements, if I don't do it, it won't get done. I have to do this for my family. I cannot count on anyone else. We had some intense moments around those thoughts and beliefs. How do you think being alcohol-free allowed you to think differently, question those thoughts and beliefs, and achieve those breakthroughs, which you now live?
I've been able to think and set these boundaries where you know what? I can't keep doing this. And somebody else has to step up now. And it was really hard for a while where I had to just let everything go and take care of myself and prioritize myself for the very first time in my life, because I was, I took care of everybody, mom, sisters, kids.
Mm.
And I finally said, I have to take care of me. And that was really foreign, so foreign.
I remember. I remember when you were early on in the program, and you would text me and almost ask for permission to take naps. Coming off of,
Yeah.
right? Coming
Yeah.
off of alcohol can be exhausting as our body rids itself of this toxin. And I noticed the discomfort with things like rest.
Yeah. Yeah.
How was, go ahead.
Yeah. I always felt like I should be doing this. I should be doing that. Should was a very common word. Should be, and maxing out to my full potential. What else can I be doing? And I should.
Mm. What role did the community of other high achievers, like-minded individuals, what role did they play in empowering you to take that nap, have a snack, relax?
Yeah, everyone really talks about radical self-care, prioritizing yourself first, because it's really true. If we don't take care of ourselves, everything else will fall apart, right? Put the oxygen mask on first. And if you don't take care of yourself, nobody else will. And it isn't just the physical self-care, not feeling guilty for taking a nap. Because I worked 14 hours a day. I'd be 6 until 8 o'clock at night, 6 in the morning. So why did I feel like I wasn't accomplishing enough or doing enough? And I would feel really guilty for resting, for napping, for not doing something else for somebody else. It's so funny to hear that, because I can remember it, but I don't live that way at all anymore. And it's not just the physical self-care, it's also the mental part of having these boundaries, and not just having the boundaries, not having to explain why you're not doing everything, but also, or having to justify it. Also, what do I actually want? What will make me happy? Because I was very quiet with what I wanted. And I always felt like, oh, well, my partner wants to do this. Okay, I need to caffeinate. I need to get up and we need to go and do this because he wants to do that. He wants to go here. My mother wants me to take her shopping on my only afternoon off this entire month. I have to, there's no resting, and it's really sad because I don't do that anymore, but I did. And I actually am very much able to say, no, I don't want to do that. And no, I would like to do this. And I've gained a voice not only with my family, but also my partner and my kids. So difficult to do it with the people closest to you, and having those hard conversations and saying, you'll have to ask somebody else to help you. And I've been also able to say, I've had the courage to say I've prioritized everybody else over myself, and now it's time for me to actually be happy. And it sounds easy to say, but it's really scary because you're afraid to lose these people in your life that are the closest to you. And when you don't have that fear, it really shows, okay, the people who love you, they're going to respect your boundaries and they're still going to be there. And if not, you can't change them. You have to keep doing what's best for you, because ultimately it's your health, it's your well-being. And then you can say that you lived a life where you could express yourself and lived it on your terms, not somebody else's terms.
Mm.
And that you did more to make yourself happy.
Yes. You talked about boundaries, healthy boundaries. You talked about working and working and working and doing and doing and doing. I think many of our listeners, certainly you know this, many of our members have that same mentality if they're still stuck in that cycle. And eventually, the pressure builds up and it's too much. So what I'm hearing from you is you now have the skills and the tools to explain to people in a healthy way, I prefer this. I'm unable to do that. When we're in the cycle of drinking, it builds up. And then what happens? We explode. We blow a gasket. It comes out as, how did it come out for you? I can speak for myself, but when you had too much, how would those feelings come out?
I started to not like myself and who I was. And I did not feel good with who I was. And that inner critic is loud. And I think that can be one of the worst things, because when you have a loud inner critic, it follows you around everywhere and your thoughts are everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And the thoughts that you, the words that you use with yourself have an impact on your actions and your results. So when you tell yourself, oh my goodness, just negative self-talk, you can't really perform and be congruent in other areas because you don't like yourself. You don't like that you're coping this way, or that you don't have the discipline or control, and you feel like, what's wrong with me? The pressure also comes out. It didn't happen for me specifically, but those feelings that we swallow come out in panic attacks and anxiety or sabotage. We sabotage ourselves. Those feelings find a way to express themselves through sabotaging behavior because they need a way out and they've been trapped there. What I know from my work is that these beliefs and these thoughts and these feelings get stored during your formative years, 0 to 8. And those feelings that are not expressed come out in sabotaging behavior, come out in drinking, come out in, not enough self-care, just any sabotaging behavior, because they need a way out. And I'm so grateful that I found AFL, because I wasn't even aware of the feelings that I was swallowing. I was swallowing all of my frustration and my anger and resentment, and turning to this as a break, as an outlet. And I was just swallowing it, but it's a very unhealthy outlet. And if I hadn't released that and been completely clean in all of my areas of life, like exercise, drinking enough water, eating really clean, not ingesting toxins to cope, to unwind. If I hadn't done that, I would still be swallowing my feelings. And I don't know if you're familiar with Dr. Gabor Mate. He's an MD, and he works with, psychologists. But the one thing all of the patients have is that they were people pleasers, is that they were people, when you have a chronic illness, you're just swallowing your feelings, holding on to that stress, never expressing yourself, and just doing things anyway, even though you're exhausted, even though you're depleted, you keep on serving and doing because you don't know how to say no. And then you end up, so you have all of this cortisol and stress. And then when it's time for your body to actually fight a sickness, it doesn't know how, because you're in this constant state of stress. and doing things that you don't want. So I'm so grateful I found AFL at 43, 42, because if I kept swallowing my feelings, who knows what would happen in my 50s? I could have a chronic illness. And because those feelings find a place in your body and they come out in sickness. And so everything, I really believe everything happens exactly the way that it's supposed to. And this is my destiny to, get that one last thing, not turn to alcohol to cope with anger, with resentment, and swallow my feelings, not need that, and actually start to feel, because I was stuffing my feelings down. Don't want to feel angry? Let's have a drink. Don't want to feel resentment? Don't want to deal with the stress? Why is this my life? Let's just turn that off and not feel. And now I'm feeling everything. And I used to be so fearful of, how am I going to relax without a drink? How am I going to go dancing? That was like something that came up all the time. My partner and I love to go dancing. It keeps us young. How am I going to go dancing without a drink? How am I going to sit out at a restaurant, deck restaurant, overlooking the ocean without a glass of wine? How am I going to do that? And I thought I wouldn't be fun. I wouldn't enjoy life. How can I, because it was kind of this added fun. But now I have so much fun without alcohol. I can do all of those things, and I can feel, and I can listen to that inner voice that says, that doesn't feel good. Okay, let's not do that. Because before I was ignoring red flags in a lot, and I was just plowing through. And now I can actually hear that, and I don't have that inner critic at all. And I was thinking of before, I used to feel like I was two people. I was this happy producer, empowering people when I was working with my clients. And then, then I was this unhappy person, and I would turn that off and cope with my difficult, stressful life. And now I get to be one person, and I get to choose my happiness, and I get to choose. It's now a choice. I choose to support my family. I choose to help. I did set boundaries. I'm not overloading myself, but now I get to choose what I do, who I surround myself with, who I accept. Even in my business, I get to listen to, oh, does that feel good? Will that really help me? Is this going to be a difficult client? Will this work well? And now I get to choose everything in my life, because I'm living in integrity, and I can wake up, and I loved my life before, but now I love myself. I love myself so much. And everything is through a different lens. I'm curious about life now.
Yes.
I don't have to do anything. I choose to do it now. There's no more should or have to. I have to.
Yes.
I get to. I choose to.
As you're sharing your evolution, in the beginning of the story, you convey feelings of, I don't have a choice. I don't have a choice. I have to take care of my family. I have to work this much. I have to drink to have fun. I don't have a choice. I don't have a choice what we do on a Friday. He wants to do this. It's what I do. I don't have a choice. My mom wants to shop on my only day off. I don't have a choice. As you continued through the story, I heard choice, choose, get to. Isn't it amazing?
It really is amazing. You're not a prisoner anymore to your own business or your own.
To your mind, to your thoughts, to your beliefs. when people come in, don't they think, well, I just need to stop drinking. I feel lousy. I'm, creating some damage here and there. I just need to stop drinking. But what a model of choice and empowerment you are now. And I loved what you said about being one person. It's so rewarding. Beautiful.
It's really
beautiful. It is, Kannary. It's even this conversation is just reminding me of your evolution and the excitement in your voice when you talk about moving forward, because you get to see what's next, get to see how you grow, who you serve. And you're touching people right now. You're serving others right now, but from such a place of self-love and self-compassion. We talked about this before I hit record. Kannary and I actually tried to do this a few weeks ago, and the tech gods were not on our side. And so we said, well, let's regroup. And so we regrouped. And in the interim, she sent me some messages about what she is noticing, even since those few weeks since our last conversation, and what she is attracting to herself in her life and in her career. So, Kannary, I definitely thought it was worth touching on. As you have healed, as you have come into this new way of living, this seeing life through this new lens, what are you attracting in your work?
In your business, and especially when you're coaching or you're serving others, you really are searching for your avatar, that ideal client. And then you naturally attract them. And I've been helping more and more people who are not allowed to feel. And they've come to me when they have extreme panic, when they have extreme anxiety, and when there's something devastating like a breakup or a heartbreak that has just happened. So there are the two things that I've gotten so clear on in so many years in business now. And all of the people who have come to me with this anxiety and this panic, I helped two clients recently over the past few months. One had insatiable hunger, where her wedding's coming up. All of a sudden, she has this insatiable hunger and the sabotage. And when we went back to those root scenes, she was not in it. On the outside, it looked great, loving, two parents, white picket fence, great suburban house, but she was never allowed to feel. She was never allowed to get a B. She had to get perfect straight A's. There's no crying, can't get up from the table until you finish all of your food. And she picked up this belief. I'm always going to fail. It's never good enough. And months before her wedding, she started sabotaging with insatiable hunger, eating in the middle of the night, eating right when she woke up. And that sabotage came in because the wiring was, you can't feel, and you're never going to be enough. Because if it wasn't an A, it wasn't good enough. Why not an A+? Why not excel in every area of your life? Another lady who had just started profusely sweating, drenched anytime she went out. That was her body's way of saying that she was going to be rejected, just like her parents rejected her when she was younger. And this abandonment, this heartbreak that comes out in anxiety, it comes from being neglected, not being heard, not feeling like you're part of something or that you're safe. and you're going to have to fend for yourself. And I went through all of those things when I was younger, having to fend for myself, having to grow up too fast, not having that voice, being expected to be perfect. And if not, I wasn't pretty enough. I wasn't good enough. I wasn't. And all of that, that wiring caused me to, well, I have to keep producing. I have to support. I have to be the best, and I have to take care of everyone because that's my worth. And all of my clients have that. And what I've learned the most too is they all have, you're good enough because of the list, because of your accomplishments, not who you are. And I teach now because I've been able to do it. Love yourself for who you are, not your accomplishments. You're not your list. You're not your accomplishments. You're not, because that will never be enough, right? There's always going to be somebody who has more success, who's more beautiful, who's more something, but be loved for who you are, not what you bring. And only your opinion matters now. Mm-hmm. And then, so that's who I've been helping.
Fascinating. You have healed those parts of yourself.
Yes.
And now you're empowering others to do the same. Boy, the body does keep the score. That is for sure. I have a question for you.
And that's from being alcohol free. I before I was just going through the motions. I never went this deep.
Right.
I mean,
say
it's
the word.
Incredible. Yeah, it's incredible how deep and profound it can be when you're not clouded.
Your energy completely reflects that you are completely authentic. Kannary and I met in Sedona at our retreat. And I think I said that to you several times. Your energy. It emits. You emit that authentic healing energy, but you had the words in the past. You had the skills in your career. You didn't have it for yourself. And now you do. And so you're attracting those sorts of people. What a gift. What a gift to yourself, of course, your family, your children, and your clients. I have a question because this is something that comes up often in our community, as you know. We do talk about, look, you can have all the degrees and you can have the car and the house and the country club and the kids going to such and such school. And it's often it's a blessing and a curse that many of our members have tremendous success in different areas. That allows them to sort of prop things up when they're drinking too much and say, well, I can't be that bad. Look at this, and this. When they come into the program, we do kind of invite them to strip some of that away. Forget your accomplishments. Forget it all. Sometimes they'll interpret that as, well, I'm not just going to become this woo-woo, laid-back underachiever now. That's certainly the opposite of what happens. What would you say to someone who's hearing it and going, yeah, but I'm just wired to perform and do. How can it be both? Can I be both? What would you say to that question?
I would say you can absolutely be both. And in my experience, I've actually been more on both levels. Mm-hmm. My business, the last time I checked, it's increased 377%.
Can you repeat that?
My business has increased 377%. And I'm happier with myself, and I don't need anything on the outside to feel better inside. I don't need that list anymore. I don't need, well, I have this or that, because that, when we're on our deathbed, we're not going to think, oh wow, I'm so glad I had, that house on the hill.
Mm.
It's I'm so glad I have these people in my life. I'm so glad that I lived my life fully, that I did what would make me happy, that I don't have regrets. That's what that and I'm so happy that I was able to make a little bit of an impact and make someone else's life better. That and I'm leaving a great legacy, right? And people love me and I'm my true authentic self. Um I'm completely comfortable in my skin now, and I was not before. I was insecure before. And I'm just completely comfortable in my skin with saying who I am and not trying to be somebody else that I'm not or yeah.
Yeah. So just for our listeners, Kannary just explained what happens in our community. People in our community, they know how to succeed in lots of areas. They continue to succeed. In fact, they increase their success in those areas, and they get all of the things that she just described, all of the things that really, really matter. It's amazing.
I also being alcohol free and even having all of those skills from before and being alcohol free, I was actually, you get to know who you really want to serve. And I was able to find that I can serve at my highest level now because I'm alcohol free. And the people that I want to serve are people who have some abandonment stuff.
Mhm.
Maybe they had both parents, but one parent was absent, one parent was always working. And it's tremendously painful. The most painful thing is feeling alone,
Mm.
is feeling alone, feeling like you don't have somebody there to support you or someone you can count on. And now I think that's my biggest achievement in life so far, besides my children, is that I have gotten clear on I want to help people with abandonment. And I actually came up with a fascinating technique where you go back and you rewrite your past. You go back and you love your younger self and you become that loving parent, but you absolutely rewrite your past. And that's how you release and you move forward and step into this life that you get to build and feel that true happiness. I mean, we work so hard to be happy. And drinking alcohol, it can be very isolating. And more than ever, we're in this epidemic of loneliness. We're more connected technology wise, but we are absolutely disconnected because and there aren't real conversations and we're not meeting people and seeing people and talking and laughing. We're all on this technology and comparing ourselves and being, told you're not good enough. You need to do this, you need to do that. And that inner critic, that loud voice causes us to self-medicate, to
Mhm.
relax, to cope. And it's all really loud. And I'm kind of now on this movement of I want to connect more with my friends. I want
Yes.
to be around people that I love, that have the same values. And I don't allow anybody in. I'm so protective of my energy and my time now. I'm so protective that if you're not positive, if you are not, if you gossip about people, I don't want anything to do with you because you're going to gossip about me. If you can be a victim and negative, I can't even spend time commiserating or what is that word? Validating. I don't have time for that. I'm on a mission I'm on a mission to live my best life, to serve at my highest level, to help people who need healing, who need that hand to believe, oh my gosh, I'm not alone. And my upbringing is not a reflection of my worth. My, this imperfect parent, their inability to love me is not a reflection of my worth. I am enough. And I mean, it just goes deeper and deeper. It's not this shallow existence of, well, let me get a nicer purse. Let me get a shinier car. Let me get these shoes to make me feel better. It's so much deeper now. And I never thought life could be this good. I never thought I could be this happy. I always thought I needed a drink to unwind, to enjoy myself at the restaurant or on the beach or with my family at a picnic or a barbecue. And now it's, oh my goodness, sunsets give me dopamine hits. Driving down the highway and I'm like, wow, where did these trees come from? Like, I've been driving down this highway for years and I never realized how beautiful the view was. And I'm driving along everywhere. It's like a new world. You're curious, you're happy, you're excited, and you're like, and now I don't spend time drinking at parties. I want to know about you. I want to know about this person, and let me learn where you came from. And that makes you a better conversationalist. That makes you even more fun at a party. You don't need to drink and relax you don't need to relax that way. You just need to get out of your head, comfortable with who you are, and learn about somebody else and keep being curious and keep finding happiness from the simple things in life, because it's everywhere. You don't need something else to fill that. You can find happiness just, like it was last fall. I was like, oh my goodness, I live in New England where there are beautiful, people go leaf peeping. People come from all over the world to see the leaves turning in New England. And I'm right here. And I realized how beautiful it was, and the farms and
Yes.
just how lucky and blessed I am. I'm so blessed. And now I have I have my tribe. I was in this kind of phase before where I was leaving my old life, finding my new life with success and being productive. And I came from, growing up in the projects and victim and people, oh, you think you're better than us. I came from that because we were immigrants. We came here with nothing, escaping a civil war and picked on and bullied in school. And I really wanted more out of life. And I had to grow apart from those old friends. And I felt very lonely because I didn't feel understood. And now in AFL, I have more friends than I've ever had. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm so popular. Like
Yeah.
people are wanting to spend time with me. And I'm like, I get to choose who I'm going to have dinner with today. And who I keep in touch with. And I am in touch with my tribe all the time. We laugh, we cry. Everything makes me cry because I'm not stuffing my feelings, and everything makes me happy. And you get to experience and taste life on the highest, best level now, because there's no poison, there's no toxin, there's no watering it down with anything. And I think that's the best way to live. And probably one of the best things is my friends. I love my friends that I've made here. And everyone has the same, we're all high achievers. We're all high producers. And we're wired completely different. I went to a conference last weekend and with hypnotherapists, and they're very different from the retreat in Sedona that we went to, because I just witnessed, a little laziness, a little victimhood, a little bit of complaining. Everything was a complaint, and I had to hypnotize my friend did it for me. We did a hypnosis on me to not feel affected by it. And then I started to appreciate it instead. But I realized, oh my goodness, they're learning the same thing as me. but they're not my people. Sedona, those are my people, and we're absolute go-getters. Like if the server was a little bit forgot our food, we got right up and we said, "Hey, I think you forgot my food." We were not complaining and sitting back and whining. We got right up. And that was that was a big difference. And we were up early and we were laughing and talking and the other conference I went to, completely different. So even though you think, "Oh, I'm going to a conference with all these other doctors or lawyers and people in my area of expertise," it's really different. When you're alcohol free and you're a high achiever, it is the best life. And you can really find a community and friends that support you, that understand you. I mean, my friends here, they know things about me that, other people don't know. And there's no judgment because
we take it all to the grave. Oh, Kannary.
Yes. And there's
beautiful.
No judgment. Yes.
What a beautiful testimony. Thank you so much. As you're sharing all of that, I'm just looking at my talking points, and it all starts, by the way, listeners, it all starts with that 15-minute call. Just book it. You can tell we are an authentic crew, and Kannary is on fire for this new way of life. Notice that she's not preaching about alcohol. Do you notice how she's really not even talking about the alcohol? She's talking about what life is like. Pay attention to that. That's what we're about here. And Kannary, as I'm looking through these notes, all those things that you felt like you didn't have a choice in, that you didn't have, that you weren't allowed. I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for allowing us to be the ones that you took a chance on and that you trusted, that you counted on. What an unfamiliar thing that you allowed yourself to be real with, to be sleepy with, to be excited, angry, sad, joyful. It's such a gift. And that we've gotten to watch you emerge as a woman who is strong in business and no longer silent in life. Thank you so much. Thanks for doing this.
One of the best things I've ever made. Take that call. Take that leap of faith. I can't believe how incredible my life is now because of AFL. And I think it's the best program. I tried a few, did not connect, did not help me. And I thought I knew it all, but I didn't. And now I know more and I love myself more. And I'm so happy and so grateful. So grateful to you for taking my call, and so grateful to the coaches, you and Sarah and James, for having, the entrepreneurial spirit to keep going, because it's a tough business. Business is tough. Yeah. And he kept going. And because of that, because of his tenacity, my life has changed. My family's life and my future generations are going to be incredibly, incredibly impacted because of alcohol-free lifestyle.
Thank you. Well, it's our honor. And thank you for being a gift to every listener tuning in. We appreciate you. Listen to Kannary. Book that call. We're here for you. Let's see what life looks like on the other side. Until next time, take good care. Have an awesome day.
Thank you so much for listening. For more content like this, you can check out our YouTube channel at alcoholfreelifestyle.com/YouTube. You can follow me and send me a direct message on Instagram and TikTok at James Swanwick. And you can see the results of our scientific study at alcoholfreelifestyle.com/study. If you'd like to apply to become a Stop Drinking client, you can visit alcoholfreelifestyle.com/project90. I wrote a book called The 30-Day No Alcohol Challenge, which you can find on Amazon. And you can always email me directly at james@alcoholfreelifestyle.com. If you're a regular listener of the show, would you please do me a big favor and give the show a rating and a review? It helps us get more listeners, and you'll be potentially helping someone else out there who's struggling with alcohol to find us, to listen to us and get support. Thanks so much for listening. We'll catch you on the next one.